my style is quite over the top. It's quite theatrical. I think this is my favorite bedroom in the hotel. I don't think people expect to find what we have down here in the basement, but there is a little surprise. Hello, my name is Luca Hall. Welcome to Hotel Les Deux Gares here in Paris, one of my interior design projects. I like this idea of you walk through the door and you're kind of transported to another place, somewhere kind of fantastical. With the lobby, it's the first area that guests come into, so I really wanted to make a kind of big impression with this space and set the scene, I suppose, for the rest of the hotel. I wanted it to feel very theatrical and playful and cozy, so I've sort of set up here this kind of sitting room area with sofas and armchairs and the coffee table with lots of books and flowers. And I really imagine guests kind of coming here and having a coffee, reading the newspaper in the mornings. I found a dealer of kind of French posters. So we have a lot of travel posters, exhibition posters. And then this piece over here is one of my paintings. And I have this memory. It was the last day of installation and there was a gap here. And I ran out and bought a canvas and made a painting to fill this space when I was also madly trying to get the rest of the hotel together. I mean, installations are always very stressful. There are a lot of things to kind of bring together. You think you found everything you need, but there are always going to be kind of last-minute things you have to do. This is one of my favorite parts of the lobby. It's just a little space, but I think it's a nice example of my approach in this hotel, but also with all of my interior design projects, really. The way that I like to mix furniture from different countries, different periods. This mirror, which I had a lot of fun making, I designed it inspired by 18th century English mirrors, and then I hand drew the design on top. It's a nice example of the way that I like to mix and, have this kind of quite eclectic approach. Why don't we go and have a look at a bedroom? We're here at one of the suites, and I think this is my favorite bedroom in the hotel. I love the location of the hotel. I love that we're overlooking a train station. There's something really romantic about that, I think. I love waking up here and you hear the announcements and you hear the trains coming and going. It's kind of that idea of people going off on trips or coming home. There's a kind of romance in that I really love. I designed this wallpaper and it was inspired by, I think it was a wallpaper fragment or maybe it was a fabric fragment in a museum's collection of this kind of chain design. And I just loved it. So I kind of was inspired by that and then went away and made this design. There's this colorway, the lilac, blue and green, and then there's another colorway which you can see in one of the other suites. It was a lot of painting samples on paper, sitting down and kind of working out, placing things physically on my desk. I love that part of the process where you're kind of working out what colors go with each other and getting the balance right. I think the bathrooms in the hotel are a good example of how I had fun with quite simple materials, injecting a lot of sort of fun and playfulness in with the colors I chose. I knew from when I started on the project that I didn't want to have white basins and toilets. I worked with a company in England that restores kind of Art Deco Edwardian sinks and toilets, but also makes new ones. So in the yellow bathrooms, we have this kind of really lovely toothpastey mint green. It was a way of kind of bringing in a sense of playfulness through my use of color. Again, the floor is a nice example of, a simple material, a black and white tile of different sizes that we then laid out in a kind of fun geometric pattern. This is the new cafe, which opened at the end of last year. It's called Duga Express. This is a bit more of a kind of casual place to grab a sandwich before getting on a train. My favorite thing in here is the ceiling. I really wanted the ceiling to look like yellow marble. And we also have these fun tiles and reclaimed tiles in the bar as well. And I was very keen to have a bright yellow bar with a zinc top. A few times ago, I was here for work and I was alone, and kind of my favorite thing to do often when I'm here alone is to go out for dinner. I love going out for dinner by myself, and I'll take my book with me. And I had settled into a brasserie and I had ordered a glass of champagne and I had my book and I was squeezed in with all the tables, like, how they do here, really tight. I was very happy. And then I just saw this little rat kind of run out in front of me quite slowly. And I feel like we sort of locked eyes. And I, there and then, made a mental note, probably not to go back to that particular brasserie. Paris is such a romantic city. There's nowhere like it for beauty. I don't think people expect to find what we have down here in the basement, but there is a little surprise. We are down in the basement of the hotel, in the new pool area, which just opened actually at the end of last year. And there's also a steam room. And then when you go through the corridor here, you get to the gym and sauna. I really wanted to, again, similar to the rest of the hotel, make a very sort of theatrical interior, and to kind of lean into the fact that it's a sort of underground, windowless chamber. I asked a mural painter called Pauline Lear. She also painted the ceiling of the cafe upstairs. She created this mural for me of sea creatures. I really wanted it to feel like when you're swimming in the pool here, you're underwater. So we have this kind of really lovely underwater mural with squid, with fish. The gym next door is part of the original hotel. So I was sort of thinking, okay, why don't we, different from your average kind of hotel gym. So I clad the whole thing in this very playful, fun wallpaper, which is from Sphinx 10. I wanted to put a smile on people's faces as they're doing their kind of dumbbells and whatever else it is that people do in the gym. Thank you for joining me on this tour of Les Deux Gares, and I hope you might get to visit soon. And don't forget to subscribe to the Sunday Times Style YouTube channel.